Hi, I'm Nancy, and today we're doing a yoga session that has as its theme several things. One is some of the common imbalances of the body that we live with because we sit in chairs and do computers. So trying to bring attention to those and give us some movements to balance those imbalances. Secondly, we're going to do some metta or loving kindness exercises. This is an almost universal value of loving kindness that Thupten Jinpa, who is down at Stanford, has claimed can be trained. Compassion can be trained and increased. And he, in fact, has a center for compassion training down at Stanford. So I'm drawing from him. And I'm also drawing from Lee Albert in a book called Yoga for Pain Relief. And I can send that out to you, which talks about these imbalances that I'm dealing with today. So take a seat where your hips can be higher than your knees, where your spine can be alert but relaxed with shoulder blades, just feeling the gravity, bringing them down towards the waist, tucking the chin just a bit long in the back of the neck. Take a conscious breath in through the nostrils and throat into the lungs. As you inhale the next time, let the lower ribs expand and the diaphragm relax so that the breath feels like it's coming all the way through the torso, up and down. Soften the gaze. As you breathe, let the beginning of each inhale have less breath and a firmer, stronger breath in the middle, and then becoming thinner at the end. And same with the exhale, exhaling thinly and then more forcefully and thinly at the end. Now we'll do Tibetan purification breaths to start. As you inhale, let the left hand come up. Palm is forward and middle finger is coming towards the left nostril. You're inhaling both nostrils up. And as you exhale, close the left nostril and exhale out of the right nostril. At the end of the exhale, the hand comes down. Inhale the other hand up, inhaling through both nostrils. Middle finger closes the right nostril and exhale through the left nostril. And at the end of the exhale, the hand comes down. Inhale both nostrils. Closing left, exhale right. Inhale both. Close right, exhale left. Inhale both. Exhale right. Inhale both. Exhale left. Both hands come down to the thighs. Inhale. On the exhale, let the body come forward from the base of the spine, just as far as is comfortable. Some strength through the belly and back for support. And inhale back up. Exhale over, getting rid of all the toxins and wastes, many of which come out through our breath. Inhale up. And one last time. Coming to a erect but relaxed spine. We'll do the loving kindness exercise. In the loving kindness exercise, we offer loving kindness first to ourselves, then to a loved one, then to someone who's an acquaintance, a neutral person, and finally to someone we have trouble liking, near or far. I will say the phrases, you can repeat aloud or silently. So thinking of yourself first. Change the words if they don't fit. May I be at ease. May I be free of fear. May I be free of dissatisfaction. May I find peace and joy. Now think of a loved one who you would like to extend loving kindness to. May you be at ease. May you be free of fear. May you be free of dissatisfaction. May you find peace and joy. Then thinking of a neutral person, an acquaintance. May you be at ease. May you be free of fear. May you be free of dissatisfaction. May you find peace and joy. And finally, coming to someone you have trouble loving or liking, near or far. May you be at ease. May you be free of fear. May you be free of dissatisfaction. May you find peace and joy. Then opening our eyes, inhale as arms reach out, fingers reach out towards the walls on either side of you and up, feeling the sides of the body stretching up as you reach up. Palms might touch. Pause for a moment at the top. And exhale slowly down, as if you're going down through thick, viscous air. One more time. You might pull in the pelvic floor. Bring the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Coming inward and upward. And exhaling down. Now let's come up to a standing position. And we'll talk a bit about these imbalances that Lee Albert tells us are so common to the culture that we live in. 3 have to do with the pelvis. Sometimes one side of our pelvis can be elevated. And maybe you can just be on taking your weight back and forth between your feet. And maybe one side feels kind of comfortable. My right side, I find myself there quite often and have to bring myself back onto both feet. So this is one that the side of the pelvis can be elevated. And in relationship to that, your shoulder goes up. And this is actually one of the other imbalances where one shoulder is elevated, often in relationship to the pelvis. Another imbalance is a rotated pelvis, where one side comes forward and the other side comes back, sometimes a little up and down at the same time. another diagnosis that I've gotten that we probably all will get as we go through chiropractors or whoever it is we turn to. The third imbalance in the pelvic area is a tilting forward or a tilting back. So you might put your hands at hip creases and turn your hips forward and turn your hips back. The most common of these is the anterior tilt, so the pelvis at the bottom coming forward. And of course, that's often the way we sit, we slump. Lee Albert calls this Slump Asana. So our hips come forward, and we'll do some movements to try to prevent and correct that. The last one is your head in relation to your shoulders. So as we practice yoga, we often do mountain pose. We have everything stacked with the heels and the hips above the heels, the shoulders above the hips, and the head above the shoulders. But how common it is for us as we relax, for our shoulders and head to come forward at the same time that the pelvis is coming forward. And so we're going to be bringing our head back above the shoulders. And part of the way to do that is to strengthen these muscles, the rhomboids, back between the spine and the shoulder blades. So let's bring attention to those muscles right now, bringing our upper arms against the body, not tightly, but loosely. Elbows are bent and palms are open facing each other. We're going to move our arms, but not by moving our arms or shoulders, but rather by squeezing those muscles, squeezing the shoulder blades in towards the spine and then releasing them. Squeezing shoulder blades towards spine and releasing, and letting the hands just move as they will in front. Strengthening these back muscles allows the front of the body to be more open, helps our posture. And certainly now I'm thinking if you're a rower, as if you're using a computer, you're going to be forward a lot. And so strengthening those back muscles so that you can be open in the front is quite important. Letting that go, bring your feet just a little bit wider than hip width apart. We're going to do a side bend here that brings a balance to the elevated pelvis. Let one hand float down the side of the thigh. The other one reaches up and arches over the head. Don't need to come over too far. Feel some stretch in the side of the body there. Sides are often unstretched, and so by opening up through the sides, we're compensating for a cultural habit that we have. And I'm doing this for about 15 seconds. You'd want to hold this for about 30 seconds. Then coming over, we'll do it 15 seconds twice. Coming over to the other side, make sure that your shoulders are in line with each other. Your nose is forward towards the screen. And don't try to come over too far. Rather, the emphasis on just a nice stretch through the side. No need to strain here. We'll do 5 more seconds here. If your arm gets tired, you can always let it rest on top of the head. Now coming back up, make steeple fingers with the forefingers together and fingers interclasped. Bring the hands up above the head, ground down through the feet, lift up through the whole body, and particularly feel the stretch between the hips and the bottom of the rib cage. This is a quadratus lumborum. And it is this that often is shortened and then elevates the pelvis. So coming over into a side bend, and make this a small side bend, one that you can keep your body, your chest, your nose forward, and that you can feel that stretch both in the side of the body and in the back between the ribs and the hips on the opposite side that you are stretching towards. And if the arms get tired, just come down into the other sideward bend for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up, and we'll come over to the other side, stretching up as you go over, feeling that stretch through the lower back as well as through the side. Breathing through the torso, always coming back to the long, deep breath that opens the body. For 3, 2, and 1, and come up. Now we'll come back to a sitting position. You might have a blanket underneath your hips. You can also sit in a chair if that feels better. Bring one hand over to the other side of the head. Press head into hand with an inhale. So pressing head into hand with an inhale. Exhale as ear comes down towards the shoulder. Relax down through the shoulders, relax through the neck. We're just going to hold there. The slackening on that underside also allows the neck to relax there. A really more profound relaxation than the stretch we're getting on the other side. Release, come back up. Other hand comes to the opposite side of the head. Inhale, head into hand, and exhale, relaxing the muscles down. Relaxing down through jaw, through the shoulder blades. The neck having everything to do with the pelvis. The neck is off, the pelvis is off. The pelvis is off, the neck is off. And coming back up. Now bring hand to the opposite cheek, turning the chin slightly. Then inhale, cheek into hand. And exhale, bringing the chin around towards the shoulder. No strain. Again, relaxing down through shoulders, through the back of the skull, down through the spine. And breathing, soothing the body with the breath, bringing loving kindness with the breath. Release and unwind. Other hand comes to opposite cheek. Inhale, cheek into hand, and exhale. Bring the chin towards the shoulder. Let the breath soften your body. Release and unwind. Bring your arms out to either side, and we're going to twist just gently through the waist. The head, the gaze, the arms are staying in one plane. They're not moving. Just a slight twist through the waist as we begin to bring some spiraling to the spine. One more time in each direction. Then bring the hands back behind. Weight into the heels and the balls of the hands. Good support for the shoulders. Feet come wide in front of you, and let the knees go from side to side. Feeling the opening up, the loosening in the front and sides of the hips, rolling over the bottom of the feet, giving them a little massage. Then let the arm come into the exercise, providing momentum for the whole body to turn, increasing that twist around. Next time you come around, bring the hands back to the side back of the body. Nose is going towards the corner in the back. So some upward feeling through the shoulders and the crown, feeling that twist through the whole body. And breathing into that spiraled body. Unsticking some of the organs. Then coming around to the other side. Again, holding up through strong arms and hands. Breathing strong and firm. Come back through center. Move anything that's underneath you and we'll come down to a lying position. As you come down, bring a block or a pillow that you're going to put between your knees. Pillow or block between the knees. Knees are slightly bent and soles of feet are on the floor. We'll begin by squeezing that block or pillow between the knees. And if you don't have a block or pillow, you can always lift your feet and put two fists in between and just squeeze the fists. So that's another option. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. 3, 2, 1. And continue. This strengthening of the inner thighs compensates for inner thighs that are often weaker than the outer thighs. They're long, too long, and we want to shorten them a bit actually in relationship to the outer thighs, strengthening them. Then bring the feet just slightly farther in towards the buttocks. We're going to come into a bridge. Weight goes into the soles of the feet and onto the back of the head and the shoulders as the hips rise. Tuck the shoulders in. Bring the hands to be clasped underneath the buttocks. Weight down through the arms, lifting up through the hips, just to a comfortable place. Feeling the weight coming down through the soles of the feet. And here we're strengthening through the back muscles, hamstrings, muscles on each side of the spine, which are, again, as I've said, weak because of our cultural habits. Bring the hips down for a moment, and we'll do it one more time. Strong through the glutes as you lift those hips up, clasp the hands, tuck the shoulders. Celebrating that strength, breathing from shoulders down through knees, down through the soles of the feet, and back through the earth, coming up through the back of the skull, kind of circular breath. And let it all come down. Put your block or pillow aside, and we'll come back down. Bring the knees up and legs up. Knees are slightly bent, arms are out to the sides, horizontal from the shoulders. Push with the feet down towards the bottom of the mat, making a small circle, then bringing the knees back towards the chest. So a small circle, a little below the hips and also above the hips. And you can make it as fast or slow as you would like. Feeling the various muscles that you're using as you go round the water wheel, and then come back the opposite direction. This also strengthens the abs as well as the back muscles. And bring it down. Extend the legs out. Arms are still out from the shoulders. The right leg stays extended. The left foot comes up by the right thigh. Bring the hips slightly over towards the left. The left foot comes up on the thigh, the right thigh, and the right hand comes to the knee on the left leg and gently draws it over so that you roll over on that hip, the leg and the torso becoming a kind of axis to roll around. We're going to hold this here for 15 seconds. It's one that you might hold for as much as 30 seconds. This compensates for a rotated pelvis. So this is one way to prevent or to balance a rotated pelvis. 3, 2, and 1. Let that go. Extend left leg out, bring the hips back in the middle. Right foot comes up by the left thigh. Hips go over to the right slightly. Right foot on left thigh, left hand bringing right knee across. Rolling through that axis. Relaxing down. We feel stretch here through the side, outward side of the thigh, as well as perhaps through the glute. So these areas that are often contracted can stretch out. One more inhale and exhale here. Release. Bring the feet up, roll over, and come up into a tabletop position. We're going to be wanting a chair in front of us on the mat. So we'll come to this in just a minute, but you might get a chair in front of you. You could use a bed, you could use a sofa, and if you don't have that, it's all right. You can use the floor as well. We'll start, I'll let you get arranged here a minute. We'll start with hands directly under shoulders. Fingers are wide so that you have a good grip on the mat, giving good support to the shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale as the stomach sinks and the heart slides forward. Exhale as you arch the back. You might tuck the toes as you do this. Inhale, let the front of the spine go down towards the earth. Exhale, tuck the toes, the back of the spine lifts up to the sky. And one more time in each direction. And come back through center. Now bring yourself forward towards this chair. We're coming into what we often call pigeon pose. One knee is bent in front and the calf is diagonal. But if you want to bring the calf under that leg, that's okay. The other leg, the left leg, is coming back, walking back, and I'm on the top of my toes. My hands come forward, so adjust your distance so that the hands can come to the bed or the chair or whatever it is in front of you. If they're down on the floor, that's fine too. The emphasis here is on opening the hip flexor and stretching through the buttocks muscles on the other side. This is helping a forward tilted pelvis. So it helps to balance a pelvis that wants to come forward. Keep the hips in line with the front of the chair. Keep the shoulders even with the front of the chair. The navel is pointing forward. One more inhale and exhale here. One that you can do for 10 or 15 seconds each day. Now switch legs, bringing the right leg back behind and the left knee folded forward with the diagonal calf or calf underneath. And again, stretching out through the arms, feeling that stretch going back through the front of the body, through the front of the hip, shoulders even, hips even, navel, nose, going forward. And breathing generously throughout the body. One last inhale and exhale. And bring the hands down and unwind that leg. We're going to come down into a prone position with arms along the side. This is excellent for strengthening the back of the body, compensating for those long muscles that get longer and longer as we sit every day. Inhale, head and shoulders up. Exhale, down. Up and down. Now let arms join in, fingers reaching back. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Feet will join in now anchoring on the hips, balancing. Fingers and toes reach back. Crown reaches forward, probably doesn't go up as high this time. Feet and crown at about the same height. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Then let's bring it up one more time. Let the kneecaps come down towards the earth, kneecaps towards the earth. And breathing here, coming to a place you can sustain for 2 more breaths. And let it come down. We're going to do a half frog now. So a frog brings a knee up bent at 90 degrees and an elbow bent at 90 degrees to the side of the body. On the other side, my arm is just along my side. And then you can let the head come down. And the point here is to relax down through the spine, through the lower torso, down into the legs, through the arm and the shoulders. This allows the piriformis muscle to slacken, to relax. The piriformis muscle runs across the top of the back of the pelvis, the top of the glutes, and it intersects with the sciatic nerve. So this allows any tension in the piriformis to relax and be easy on that sciatic nerve. Again, you might keep this for 30 seconds. A good one to do when you're just waking up or going to sleep. Then letting that half frog go and come to the half frog on the other side. 90 degrees at the elbow, 90 degrees at the knee. And breathing, relaxing the knee, the calf, the thigh. Relaxing from the hip up through the abdominal area. One more, inhale and exhale. And bring those frogs in. Bring the hands so that they are underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, press into the hands, digging into the hands as the hips rise and weight comes back over the feet, the heels. You might paddle your heels, your feet a bit as you begin to open up through the back of the legs. Feel the spine lengthening as you dig your hands in the front. Feel the length through the sides of the body, through the arms. And then let the heels just stay still. They are not necessarily on the mat, just coming in that direction. Knees are a little soft. The pelvis, the ribs, and the head are in line with each other. Now coming forward into a plank, knees can be down or up, strong through the arms to support the shoulders, energy going back through the heels for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Elbows come in, knees come down. Push up into a slight cobra. It can be a small cobra or a larger cobra. Or if you'd really like to have an up dog, you can support through your hands, supporting your shoulders and coming up onto your knees or your front of feet. And then coming down, let's come back up into downward dog. Stretch back through the spine. Then we're going to walk feet forward and walk hands back to meet them, rubbing the hands up over the fronts of the legs. As arms rise up, gaze rises. With an inhale, gaze up, and exhale, folding at the base of the spine, down. Inhale, hands come to shins. Gaze goes forward a bit of a back bend here. And exhale down. Bring hands down on either side. Left foot comes forward and right foot goes back. We're stretching back through that right heel, opening in the front of the hip flexors. Then bring that right foot in the right knee down in the back, coming into a lunge, thighs pulling towards each other, arms rise, palms at a distance but facing each other, lifting up with the fingers, feeling the stretch that brings into the sides of the hips and the sides of the body. For 3, 2, and 1. Then coming down, bring the right hand inside the left foot and open. And this other hand can come up. It can stay on the thigh as well. Either way, bringing some counterbalance to that pelvic area. Coming back, and then bringing the hands back, rolling over the heel, straightening out through that front leg and bowing down, not in an exaggerated way, but enough so that you can get some stretch through the back of that leg. Then bring the foot forward, bring the other foot forward. Let's come back once again into downward dog. Stretch back through the hips. Let the shoulder blades come out to each side of the upper back, opening up through the back, breathing through the back. Then walking forward with the feet and back with the hands. Once again, coming up. Inhale up. Exhale forward, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins. Slide back, bend, gaze forward. Exhale down. This time the left foot is going to go back and the right foot stays forward. Hands on either side of the front foot. Stretch back through that heel. Feel the opening in the front of the hip flexor. Then bring the knee down, coming into a knee down lunge, but the knee stays behind the hip in order to open up in that hip flexor. Arms rise. Let the shoulders relax down, the shoulder blades relax down, then the fingers reach up so that you feel that lift on both sides of the body. For 3, 2, and 1. Then left hand is coming inside the right foot, other arm reaches up or stays on the thigh as you enjoy a spiral in the spine. And perhaps you feel some stretch in the side of the hip here. Then hands come down once again and back, rolling over the heel and opening up through the back of the leg. Release the kneecap. Then bring the knees underneath you. We're going to come into what's called a hero pose or Virasana, and this can be done in a chair. So if this is too hard on the knees, which it often is, use a chair. You can put a pillow or a blanket or one block in between your hips, or you might have nothing in there at all, depending. If you're very young, you might be able to do that. Depends on your knees. Establishing yourself, coming back into yourself, into your breath, into this body. Then clasp the hands, interlacing the fingers, turning the palms up. Lift the arms up above the head, palms reaching up to the ceiling. Relaxing down through ears and shoulders and hips. Ears, shoulders, and hips all in one place, plane, head coming back so that it's right above the shoulders. Perhaps feeling a stretch through the low back and the sides of the hips. It stretches into the soft tissues of the back. One more inhale and exhale. And bring it down. Remove anything that's under your hips. We're going to come up on our knees. Again, if you have knee problems, these can be done standing very easily. So either standing or on your knees, we're going to do what's called a camel. So bring one hand to the sacrum or the back of the hip in the back. Knee, fingers are down and the palm is against the body. Keep the pelvis above the knees as the other arm rises up. Feel the bending coming from the middle part of your breastbone as it reaches up towards the ceiling, and jaw is open, throat relaxed. Tucking in the nape of the neck and coming back. Hand on the other side comes to the sacrum. Inhale up, hips above knees, opening through the breastbone, relax through the jaw. And this, of course, is opening us through the front of the body, that part of the body that needs stretched. Both hands come to the back of the sacrum. Hips are above the knees, opening up, shoulder blades coming towards each other a bit. And gently bringing the head up and coming back. Now you might, if you want to have a block or a blanket back over your calves, you're welcome to do that. I'm going to encourage you to bring one arm up and one hand back to the blanket or to a heel in the back. And here you'll feel a more pronounced stretch through the front of the body, particularly the hip flexor, but up through the side of the body. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the arm up as the arm down, as the hand, as the body comes up to relieve the strain. Bring the other arm up, hand comes back to blanket or block, or perhaps to the heel, opening up. Feel the opening through the front of the body. Then let the arm start to come down, easing your way down for the body. Then one last time, perhaps both hands come to the back of the sacrum, or perhaps they come to a blanket or block behind you or to your heels. Opening through the hip flexors, opening through the breastbone, hands coming back to wherever is right for you. Bringing your pecs, your chest open, keeping their chin a little tucked for protection. And then if your hands are back, let your hands come up to the sacrum to help you up so you don't strain anything. So that stretching through the front is definitely what we need for our slumping life. At the same time, if we do this in yoga, we need a counterbalance. So bring the hands back behind your buttocks, interlace the fingers, turn the palms so they're now down towards the earth. We're going to bend at the hip creases, the bottom of the spine, bending forward, top of the head coming down towards the mat, and arms lifting up just as far as is comfortable, cognizant of any shoulder issues that you have. And then slowly coming back up. This is good for keeping the head and shoulders in line. Pretty hard to bring the head forward when your arms are back behind and fingers are interlaced. So as you're coming up, aware of the head and the shoulders being in the same plane. And come up. We'll come up to a standing position now. Let the feet be just a little bit wider than hip width apart. Ground down through the feet. Make the legs dynamic, heel pushing down, front of the shin alive. The thighs turning slightly inwards, broad through the back of the hip. Feeling that line coming up from the pelvis, up through the torso to the very top of the head, as if a plumb line could go straight down through you. So the chin is a little brought in and the back of the neck is long. Now we're just going to let our ear go over towards a shoulder. This is a very slight movement. but we're doing this in relationship to the elevated shoulder. So this is an antidote for the elevated shoulder. Let there be little balloons underneath your armpits, but let the arms hang very gently out from the body just a bit. Keep the nose forward. Relax down through the body. Let your bones hold you up and the muscles relax around them. This also you would do for around 30 seconds. We're doing it a little shorter. Then bringing the head up through center and coming over to the other side. Just to a comfortable position. Relaxing down through the shoulders, lifting up through the spine, and breathing. One last inhale and exhale. And bring the head back up. Now, if you have a belt or a strap or a scarf, or just the isometric strength of your arms, any one of these will do. Bring your arms out in front of you. Arms are slightly out diagonally from the shoulders, but not so far. And if you just don't have a strap, just make your arms taut and make fists, and that will suffice. Now we're going to lift up on an inhale, coming just above the head. Exhale down. Inhale up, keeping the head in line with the shoulders, and exhale down. Let the hands come a little farther out, whether they have a strap or not. Bring the arms up and you'll see they can come a little farther behind. Shoulders have a little bit more space to open up behind the head. One more time, down in front and up. Now let one hand pull down so that it is perpendicular out from the body, and the other arm is pulled up. And then on the other side, the hand pulls the other arm up as it comes out to the side. One more time in each direction, flossing the shoulders, as they say. Then let the hands come wide, whether they have a strap or not, back behind you. If you have the strap, let your fists be around the strap, pulling it taut. And if you're doing this isometrically, let your arms be taut. Opening up through the pectoral muscles in the chest. So that's the main aim here. Bring some attention to your legs, which are still dynamic, your bones, which are strong in their structure, and the muscles soft around them in the body, bringing the energy and the effort into the arms, relaxing through the heart. For 3, 2, and 1. Letting any strap or belt go down. We're going to come back to the chair for a moment, and we're going to sit in the chair. So just a word of advice on sitting. Lee Albert emphasizes how we do, as I've said, slump asana, a slump posture most of the day as our backs go against the chair and we're looking at the computer and we're using our hands out here. And he gives us the advice to perhaps bring something back behind the lumbar spine so that we can have those beautiful curves of our back, allowing us to use our back muscles to keep ourselves up and to stretch just the slightest bit through the front instead of shortening all the muscles here in the front. Likewise, if your tops of your arms can be against or near your body without reaching out, this also is going to bring the head back above the shoulders. So having your keyboard or whatever it is you're working on right in front of you so that you can ergonomically do what you need to do. And I know this is impossible to do all the time. I'm always catching myself, but something just to keep in mind, to be strengthening those back muscles and allowing the front of the body to stretch out a bit. Now we're going to stretch our psoas muscle. The psoas muscle goes from the top of the femur, top of the thigh, up through the lumbar spine, the bottom part of the spine. Bring one foot up onto the seat of the chair and bring the other one back a bit so that you're getting some opening in the front of the hip flexor. Hips come around so that they are even with the front of the chair. So here we're lengthening this psoas muscle. It's deep inside the abdomen. It is often tense because of our lifestyle, and it then allows our hips to tilt forward. It brings our hips forward because it's tight. So as we lengthen it and make sure that your hips are even across, so one tends to go forward, right? The one that's up on the chair, bring them straight across. Relaxing down through the shoulders. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring that foot down, and the other one comes up onto the chair. Other foot comes back a bit so that you can get this stretch in the psoas muscle inside. Hips, thighs coming slightly towards each other as one hip, the front hip comes back and the back hip comes forward just a bit so they can be even. And feel the length in your spine. Feel the relaxation through your shoulder blades, the chin slightly back so that the back of the neck can be long, a little loop of energy there. Breathing through the body, aware of the breath, aware of the body. For 3, 2, and 1. Don't have much time left here, but we're going to bring our hand to the back of the chair and do a quad stretch. So again, this is one of those front muscles that needs to be stretched out. Bringing the foot into the hand, and our emphasis here is not so much on balance, but on stretching this quad muscle. You can balance if you'd like, or keep your hand on the chair. Press the foot into the hand for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then relax that press and let the knee go down towards the earth. Lift up through the upper part of the body so that hips are even. Relax through the hamstrings, the back of the thigh, the front of the thigh, through the toes and the bottom of the foot. Some firmness in that foundation leg. Feeling strength coming up from the foot up through the hip and up through the shoulder and the top of the head. For 3, 2, and 1. Important to keep the quads stretched out, and we'll do it on the other side. Once again, pushing foot into hand, hand into foot for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relaxing down, keeping the hips even. Relaxing through the jaw and the cheeks, the shoulder blades, through the hip and the front of the thigh, the calf, the heel. Bring your effort into that other foundation leg. And breathing. For 3, 2, and 1. And bring it down. Bring the chair around so that the seat of the chair is facing you. We're going to end with a triangle. If you'd like to use the chair on the triangle, then be a little closer to it. A little farther away, we're going to rotate, and then when you rotate, you can use the chair. So a little farther away if that's when you're going to use the chair. One foot Toes are forward towards the front of the mat. The back foot is at 30 degrees. And our feet are not too far apart here. Hands come to the hip creases. Let the hips come back and forward. Back. Leave them there. Open through the chest. Fingers reaching out to each side. Nose out towards the horizon. Reach towards the horizon and windmill. Fingers going down. Fingers reaching up. Very open through the chest here. Feeling this stretch up along the side of the thigh, over the side of the hip. Open through the chest, open through the front of the abdomen. Then we're going to turn, hips come as they're facing down towards earth. The left hand is coming to the chair and opening up in the back. So we're in a rotated position here, just rotating as far as is okay for you. Knee can be soft in the front. And this allows a stretch through the piriformis diagonally in that one leg. Stretch across the buttocks and the side of the hip and even into the hip capsule. Then soft in the knee, come around and back to center. Bring the chair to the other side. Finding your triangle position on this side, toes forward towards the chair and 30 degrees on the side. Again, you don't have to do a chair for this. Bring your hands to the hips, let the hips come back and then forward towards the front foot and back towards the other foot. Open through the chest, reach through the fingers towards the horizon and windmill. One hand reaches up, one hand reaches down. Breathe into those areas where you're feeling the stretch. Chest open to the world, heart open. One more inhale and exhale. Then turning soft through the knee, hand might come to the chair, or it might just come to the side of the calf and open to the back. Feeling that stretch through the side of the body, through the glute, relaxing there some so that stretch can happen. Feeling the stretch here on that back leg in the glute. And then soft in the knee, coming back and coming through center. Let's come down onto the mat. We've all made a good effort today and we're better balanced than when we began. Let's come into a lying position for a few moments as we relax down. When you get down to the mat, bring one arm up, a hand around that wrist. Pull the wrist up, push the heel down. Nice long stretch. And then on the other side, feeling the length through your whole body. Then hands come along the sides. Knees might be tented if that's more comfortable. You might have a blanket underneath the knees. We'll be here for several minutes. Wiggle through the hips and the shoulders, finding a comfortable place. Perhaps you feel a tingling in the bottom of your feet. Perhaps a tingling in your palms. Feel the aliveness. Relaxing through the bottom of the feet and the toes, up through the ankles and the calves. The hamstrings, the back of the thighs, the glutes huddling into the earth. Lower back soft, melting between the shoulder blades, the back of the neck. Skull heavy against the mat. Crown open. Forehead. Nose. Cheeks. Lips.
relaxed, soft. Jaw and throat. Collarbones wide, relaxed. Tops of the arms, elbows, forearms. Then back to the palms of the hands, the fingers. Let the breath be long, massaging all of your body, penetrating all of your cells. Letting yourself be at ease. Lengthen the breathing and bring some movement to fingers and toes. Perhaps turn ankles and wrists as you come back towards your day. Give the knees a hug. Is there some intention for your day that you would like to bring forward from your practice? If only that ease that you wish to the world. Then rolling over, we'll come up to a brief sitting position. Stay down if you'd like and relax. Hands come to heart center. May we all be healthy. May we all remain spacious as we are right at this moment in our hearts and minds and bodies. May we open our hearts and may we share joy. Namaste. Thanks for practicing, everyone. Always good to be with you.
Thanks, Nancy.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
glad
you.
you're all here. Thanks. Hi, Mita. Hi, Courtney.